Hey Dora, thanks for letting me know we were muted. Hi there, hi there, hi there. Okay, what is a key benefit of using PHFA financing in Pennsylvania? A, you get lower interest rates. B, forgivable grants. C, closing cost assistance, or D, all of the above. PHFA financing, what's a key benefit? Got a guess? I think it's all. You think all? Yep, there you go. Nice job.
Not always lower interest rates.
That was the one that
Okay.
I was thinking all of it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's a forgivable grant or they're offering a lot of closing costs, they do have a higher interest rate to cover the
Okay.
risk of that.
There you go.
So they're all potential benefits.
Yes, not all at the same time.
Not all at the same time. I like that. I like that. Okay, question number 8, true or false? Buyers need a 20% down payment to purchase a home.
False.
So everybody's head shaking no. That is false. Question 9, what does fixed rate mortgage mean? The rate changes annually. It's fixed for the first year, stays the same for the life of the loan, or is based on inflation. We've got C as our answer. Let's check that out. Great job. I don't know, maybe they don't need a mortgage class.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. I think you guys are pretty good. Question 10, what's the typical length of a fixed rate mortgage term? 10, 15, 30, or both 15 and 30? See? Yeah,
You can also get a 20 and a 25, and a 10 is an option as well. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So now that we have our brain in mortgage mode, right? We're like thinking of all the acronyms and abbreviations and thinking in percentages. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do just a mock buyer consultation on the mortgage side, so that when you guys are talking to your clients, you understand what it is that Angie's going to be looking for, the sort of questions that your clients kind of need to be prepared to answer. After that, we're gonna have just a little Q&A and a mastermind, and then we'll welcome our next presenter, Mr. Justin. So go ahead.
you want this to be in person or I guess we're in person. So we can go in person. However you would do it normally. I don't typically do a lot of in person. Mostly people just call me because it's easier. Yeah, just don't look at me.
Don't look at me. Don't look.
Okay, so typically I will get someone to call me, and if they want to set up an appointment, so let's just say we set this appointment up, you called me and you wanted to be in person. Occasionally, people do want to do that. I'm willing to do that if that's something that they want to set aside time for, but most people don't necessarily want to or can't afford to do that. But let's say, okay. Hi, Julie, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Now remind me, are you working with a real estate agent that referred you to me?
I am. My realtor's Katie. She told me you're the best, so I called you first.
Well, those are some big shoes to fill, so I'm hoping I'm gonna be able to do that for you. So first things first, what kind of, like, where are you kind of looking? What price point were you thinking about? Do you have a budget?
I guess part of the reason I'm calling you is because I have a budget in mind, but I have no idea what that means in terms of house cost.
Yeah, so like a monthly payment? you're
Yeah.
kind of wanting. Okay, what does that look like for you?
We'd be comfortable around like 2,300, but stretching to 25 if
If you
we
really
could.
love it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good starting point. Okay, what area are you kind of looking at the moment?
Definitely West Shore, more specifically Silver Spring or Hampton Township, because their taxes tend to be a little bit lower.
Okay, perfect. I can definitely keep that in mind when I'm pricing it out. Okay, so have you ever bought a house before, or will this be your first time?
First time.
Okay, fantastic. So I'm gonna ask you some questions about, your residence history, your employment history. I'll need to pull your credit, so keep that in mind. And then once we're off the phone, I'm gonna run the numbers for you, and then I can give you a call back later today and kind of let you know where we're at and what kind of price point you're looking at, if that sounds good to you.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Okay, so first, let's start with your name. So how do you spell your full legal first name?
Juli hyphen
ANN. Perfect. And do you have a middle initial? J. Okay. And your last name?
Obaya, Obaya,
Perfect. And then your date of birth.
January 6th, 87.
Okay. And your social security number?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Perfect. And what's your marital status?
Married.
Okay. Do you have any dependent kids?
2,
Okay. How old are they?
9 and 14.
Awesome. And what is your current address?
1031 South Side Street.
What city is that in?
Oh, Harrisburg.
Those are good there.
17111.
And how long have you lived there?
We rent, we've been in this complex, this is all real life when we bought our house, by the way, because I'm not creative enough to come up with a whole new story.
I love that.
What's your
We
question?
rented within this development for 5 years, but we've lived in 3 different apartments.
Okay, so your current, how long have you lived at your current address?
About 2 years.
Okay, and you said you're renting? Okay, and how much is your rent payment every month?
$950.
All right,
It's true 8 years ago.
I know. Not anymore. Okay, and so what do you do for work?
I
Who's your employer?
guess at the top I'll say. I work for a nonprofit called RSVP,
And how long have you been working for them?
about 2 years,
Okay, and what's your job title there?
office manager.
Right, and are you W-2 or are you contracted as a 1099?
I'm a W-2.
Fantastic. What is your pay rate? Are you paid by the hour or do you get a salary?
Salary, 30,000 a year.
Do you receive any bonuses, overtime, anything like that?
No,
Do you have any other sources of income like social security? Receive any alimony, child support? Do you have a simple job, anything like that?
I do not. My husband also works.
Okay,
So
we'll be on the loan with you.
yeah.
Okay, I can get his information. then. And then as far as assets to put towards the down payment and closing costs, what are you working with currently that you'd be willing to use towards a home purchase?
We have about 15,000.
Right, I can work with that.
My husband is in the military, so we'd like to be a loan if possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Is he active duty or is he retired from service?
He's retired from service.
Fantastic. Do you guys, do you personally have any major issues in your credit report that you're concerned about, any bankruptcies, anything like that?
No,
Do you own any other real estate? Any other interest in any other properties?
nope.
And then at this point, I would get all of her husband's information if she has it, which I don't want to put you on the spot
That's
to make
okay.
you. Okay, so you're looking at your budget is between 2,300 and 2,500 in Silver Spring Township area. Okay, so let me put all this together. Do you have any other questions for me before I get off the phone with you?
No, I guess not right now.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna run the numbers for you. I'll pull you and your husband's credit. I'm gonna work up what fits in your budget. Let you know how much that's gonna cost, and then when I call you back later this afternoon, I'll go over numbers. I'll see what purchase price works within your budget. I'll let you know how much it will cost, and then if you're comfortable with all of those numbers, then I can issue a pre-approval for you. I can write you up a cost estimate, and then you're good to go and look at houses, and we find something you love, and we can make an offer.
Awesome. Easy enough.
Easy, easy. Yes,
The question about the kids,
yes.
what does that matter with the loan or what's the?
So it's on the loan application. Typically, it doesn't matter. However, there are a couple of loan programs like USDA specifically that have a household income cap that based off of the amount of people that live in the house. And VA also has something that asks about your household, the number of people that live in your household. VA specifically, especially since you want to use the VA loan, they have a secondary debt ratio calculation that they require all their loans to go through, and there's, they call it, oh my God, I'm blanking on it. But you need enough additional income on top of your mortgage payment and all of your debts every month, and that's based on how many people live in your household. Because if there's only 2 people that live in your household, you don't need as much, but if there's 5 people live in your household, they want to make sure that childcare expenses and food you're gonna have enough money for all of
And that
that.
could be like a grandparent too living there, or just.
So if it's a VA loan specifically, I would ask if other people are living in the household with you. But dependents are just on the loan application, so that's why I asked. Other than that, it doesn't really matter. Any other questions about?
So then if you have other people living in the house, like say a grandparent or whatnot, does their income?
No,
Okay.
unless you're using USDA. USDA has a household income limit. Yeah.
Typically, how much does PMI add? Like,
It depends.
okay, based off the loan amount.
So a lot of factors go into it. So how much money they're putting down, what their credit score is like, and what their debt ratio is, all factor into like the risk management and how much your PMI is gonna be.
So you can run reports or like an estimate of if they do put 20% down. No PMI versus if they do like 3 or 5% down. And then they get the PMI, you can show people the difference, like if you put a little bit more down, that pushes your
Yes,
based off of the insurance and stuff.
absolutely. Yeah, every time I'm running interest rates through all of my lenders, they'll give me a PMI quote with it.
Gotcha.
Because I know it says that it's private mortgage insurance, but the lender gets it for you, so you really don't have a say in who your insurance is, because it's a lender fee.
Gotcha.
So I don't know why they call it PMI, because it's not really private, like it's chosen for you,
Okay.
so. But my lenders are generally pretty cheap, so like I just quoted, I did some cost estimates for Tracy and. It was the house was 199.9, and if you have good credit, you're putting 3% down. If you fit in the Home Possible, the mortgage insurance is $43 a month. So like it's not as bad as it used to be.
Good question.
And does the amount you get charged for PMI each month go down as equity goes up, or no?
No, it's a standard fee the
Okay.
entire time, and then once it drops off, it's gone. Yeah. Other things to keep in mind, she was not self-employed, so I didn't have to ask any additional questions. If she was self-employed, or if she's in a career that would be like a variable income career, so like a nurse or someone in the medical field that might work like overnight shifts that have like shift differentials, warehouse workers, like anyone that would be like, I work third shift, like things like that, I would ask for pay stubs or tax returns if they're self-employed. Self-employed people, I do need 2 years of tax returns, so they have to be self-employed for 2 years at least. And the reason I ask for like variable income, like for nurses and stuff, is sometimes I've had this happen more often than I would like, and we had to start asking for it. I would have someone that was either a nurse or they work in a warehouse, and they would tell me they make, $42 an hour. And then they would come in for their appointment, and I would look at their pay stub, and they actually make $30 an hour. And then the additional money is a shift differential, which is not technically guaranteed by the employer. So I can't include that in their income because it's not guaranteed. So those are, yeah, I learned that the hard way a couple of times. So now I ask for pay stubs. But if it's just a salary, like she said, she makes $30,000 a year. Most people know that, so I don't necessarily need income documents for that.
Also for self-employed people, if they have to actually make an income.
Yes,
Like I've heard of people that write about everything off, and
yeah,
then it looks on paper like they make no money.
yeah. I
Like, why
have
can't I
to-
get a loan? I have money, and they're like,
Yeah.
well, because you.
Yeah, I've had people that try to have, like, oh, can you pre-approve me? I'm self-employed, I make $45,000 a year, and I was like. Unfortunately, I've had so many people tell me that information and it's just not true, where they say they make 45,000, but then they write all of this stuff off on their tax returns, and whatever that bottom line is on your tax return is where I start with your income. So if you're only saying to the federal government, I made $12,000 last year. That's how much the federal government thinks that you made, and that's how much I have to use for qualifying. There are some things that I can add back once I see tax returns, business mileage I can add back. So for real estate agents, please keep track of your mileage, because that is a direct add back into your income, and it's a deduction for you, and I add it back. Something like that.
Do you have an app that you would recommend to people to track their mileage?
I don't, because I don't need to. Do you?
What is it?
There's a couple. I don't necessarily, I track it with receipts. I do it the old fashioned way. I don't recommend that anybody else ever do
No.
that.
No, that does not seem
What's that?
When you say receipts, like,
I say like gas receipts and stuff like that.
Really?
That's not efficient.
mile IQ is a good one. Mile, you can put in.
I used to have to track mileage for my husband when he was pastor. And so I would keep a list and I would have to do it because God bless him, he's not an enough person. So I would at the end of every month, I'm like, okay, let's do your mileage. Cause I'm not with him in the car. And so I was like, where did you visit and when did you visit? And he's like, oh, I went here. So I'd make a list and then I would go on Google Maps.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, okay, you went from here to here, that's 20 miles. And then I would put it in a spreadsheet, add it together.
That's
I
exhausting.
Don't recommend.
Don't do
Yeah.
that. Get an app.
And mile IQ also takes the dollar amount.
Yeah.
Mile IQ.
Mile IQ,
Highly recommend.
Mile IQ for everybody on Zoom.
Old school. You have such an old soul.
Angie doesn't.
I use my receipts. Who gets a receipt anymore?
There's a certain percentage that you're supposed to be able to actually get on. You have to get some.
Gotta do some math.
Taxes for quite some time. On exit, will end up bringing in for class. Yeah.
Yeah, you should just,
There's also-
You
there's
give your
also a
mileage to-
percentage-
Probably I'll do something wrong.
There's also a percentage of your house that if you're using for an office, that you take the square footage of the room that you're using as an office, and that's what you can actually deduct off.
We recommend you contact your CPA.
Yeah.
We recommend you contact your
I'm gonna talk to
CPA.
Andrew about this.
We recommend you contact your CPA.
if you work from home, that is an option on your deductible. There is a business use of home line item on your taxes. And I'm able to add that back to your income. as well.
Yeah, we recommend you contact your CPA.
Absolutely.
Jenny Leiter has a question in the Zoom room for us. She said, what programs do you have for first-time home buyers as far as payment assistance?
So that's the tough part, because we have put PHFA on the quiz, and I mean, it is a great program for a lot of people. PHFA is very particular about how they originate their loans, so you have to be a specific lending partner, and they only allow like local banks to do it. They don't have like a wholesale branch, which is what I would be doing. So I can't originate PHFA. They do have closing cost assistance. They do have some great programs. They're not always built for everyone. A couple of times people thought that they wanted closing cost assistance. They had the money to pay for it. And I was like, you're gonna get a way better interest rate if you use us, but PHFA is great. You just have to go directly through them. But first time home buyers, I always put them in as much as I can, the Home Possible program, which is a conventional program. It does have an income cap, but I'm able to kind of work around that because it's only qualifying income. So if one person's income is under the income cap and they can qualify for the house, I don't have to use anyone else's income. I can also just use like their commission income. I did that with someone where they get a base salary and then they get commission. And if I used both, it was too much, but just their commission, I was like, great, I can just use your commission income. I don't have to worry about your base salary. You fit into it. Perfect. It offers a lower interest rate, usually by like maybe an eighth of a point of a lower interest rate. But the biggest benefit for me is that the PMI is cheaper. So you're looking at maybe potentially half the PMI that you would be for a regular conventional loan, depending on credit score. Home Possible also doesn't have any overlays for rate pricing for your credit score. So like if you have like a 620 credit score and you're trying to do a traditional conventional loan, your interest rate might be pretty high because it's on the lower end of the spectrum. But Home Possible ignores that and they're like, nope, we're gonna give everyone the same rate regardless of your credit score. So it's a good program.
Okay.
Sorry. So with that, like my first time home buyer, he was looking into the other loan and there was a bunch of like hoops he had to jump through that comes along with that type of loan. Is that the same with the Home Possible? Okay.
No, it's a standard conventional loan.
Were there certain things you had to fill out? you had to do
Yeah,
this?
and then like, I think with the inspection of certain things came up, maybe it affected the loan, so.
There's sort of sometimes.
And like you had to take a course or take
Exactly, there's certain
classes.
training they have. to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a first-time home buyer for Home Possible, they do ask you to do an online course. It's free.
Okay.
When I bought my house, I used Home Possible and I had to do it. Granted, I already knew a question, so I did it like 15 minutes, but I've known people, it takes them, yeah, I took maybe an hour and 45 minutes and it's online and it saves you progress. So you can do it over a weekend, but that's the only other requirement that I would have.
Yeah.
And what does Home Possible consider a first time home buyer?
Honestly, anyone, I mean, Home Possible, you don't have to be a first-time home buyer for that program as long as you're under the income limit. But if you are a first-time home buyer, it's anyone that hasn't purchased a home in the last 4 years, hasn't owned a home in the last 4 years. So if you had a house and you got divorced and you've been renting for 4 years, you're considered a first time home buyer.
Dora has a question from Zoom. She wants to know what the income cap is.
It depends on the county.
Oh, okay.
I don't know them off the top of my head.
Okay.
It's usually around 86 and then Cumberland, York, each county has a different income limit. It's based off of the demographics of that county and then it changes every year. I have, if you get our newsletter emails, they do have the home hospital income limits in it. If you don't get our emails every Friday, let me know and I'll add you to this.
Dora also did put in the chat, the app that she uses for mileage tracking is called Stride. That's a free app that she uses to track her mileage.
Any other questions? 11 or no?
I do have one more question, in the chat from Jenny Leiter. Do you provide bridge loans or recommend a lender who does?
We do not do bridge loans. If they really are sold on doing bridge loan and there's no other way around it and they just really need to get one, we do have a lender whose name, I obviously, don't remember because it's convenient for me to know that right now. But we do have someone that we prefer not to. Bridge loans I don't always recommend. And here's why I don't always recommend bridge loans. They are intended to be a short-term loan. The interest rate is crazy and the fees on them are outrageous.
Okay.
So I always look at to see, can you qualify to buy a new home without a bridge loan with the minimum down payment? With the intention of, once you sell your house, you can take that money and you can recast your current loan. So like, if you qualify for a bridge loan, because you have to qualify for both payments, would it be better than to just qualify for the minimum down payment on this new house? So like 5% down on this new house. And then once you sell your previous house, you take the proceeds that you want and you put it back down on the house that you just bought and we do a recast. It costs like $250, I think, $250. And you call the lender and you'll tell them, hey, I have $50,000 I would like to put down on my loan, and then I'd like you to re-amortize my payments based off of that down payment for the rest of the loan, so it'll make your payments lower. That's cheaper than doing a bridge loan.
Okay.
I like it.
This is the favorite thing I've ever learned about lending is about recasting.
Okay.
It's like game changer because everybody assumes you have to
Yeah, you do not
have
have to
the money up
refinance.
front first. And it has saved clients from being like, we know your house is gonna sell. We don't have to make them like all this coincide at the same exact time. Like you can have a little more flexibility, breathing room, time to move, get in your new place, whatever. Get your home sold and then put your big chunk back into your loan and they recast it. Which is different than paying one large principal payment to your loan.
Right. Yeah, because if you just want to make one large principal payment to your loan, you're more than welcome to do that whenever you want, but it doesn't change your payments. If you call the lender ahead of time and let them know what you want to do, they will do a recast. They'll tell you where to send the money. You can just take the $250 out of the lump sum that you're paying them, and then they call it re-amortizing it. So they'll take the remainder of your payments and then they'll re-amortize those payments based off of the lower loan amount. So it makes your payment lower throughout the time. So it's essentially like you started off, like that's how you initially wanted to with the bridge loan, is that's the payment that you wanted, you're gonna get it eventually. You just have to wait a little bit longer, but it's more flexible and it's $250. So you're gonna pay like 17 times that for a bridge loan. So that's what I
Did anybody know that?
I did not.
That's amazing. That's worth the price of admission right there, I think.
Can I get with you on that?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dora didn't know it. Jenny didn't
Hey,
know it.
yeah.
Great job. So, any other questions?
I do have
Yep.
a quick question. Are there any benefits or disadvantages of going for a 15-year mortgage versus a 30-year
Lower interest rate.
The interest rate's lower.
on the 15?
You can get off. That's the top.
Well, yeah.
So the interest rate's lower and then the amount of interest you're paying is significantly less. Cause if, I mean, I don't know if you guys know how loans are amortized, but when you ever when you get to closing, it's my least favorite document at closing. It's like this 15-page amortization schedule is my least favorite thing. Because it will tell you all 360 payments of the loan. And then it tells you the breakdown of like where each of the, like where sections of it is. So like, it'll tell you, here's your full payment. And then this is how much is going to your principal. And your first payment is like, oh, $15 is going to principal. And then the other $1,200 is going to interest. And then this is going to your insurance and this is going to your taxes. The first like 5 years of your loan is so interest heavy. Like so interest heavy. Like you're paying almost nothing on your principal. So a 15-year, it condenses that, so you're paying significantly less interest. Like it's more than 50% interest on it. I know that it's half the loan term, but you're significantly, dramatically reducing the amount of money you're paying back.
Is it ever a struggle to get it though? Because don't mortgage lenders want,
No,
they don't, okay.
I mean, that's if you have somebody who's putting like a lot down.
Yeah.
It can be that kind of a cool option.
yeah, if they can afford it, obviously. Most people just don't really care too much, and they're like, as the lowest payment possible, please, which is,
Yeah, or they think I'm not even gonna live in this home 15 years, so why do I care if I pay it off in 15 years?
I've had people say that to me, so.
Me too.
I questioned, they're like, oh, I'm gonna be dead in 5 years. I was like, why are you buying it? Whatever. But yeah, there's some benefits to it. I mean, the payment's higher, obviously. But yeah, you pay significantly less interest, and your interest rate is like, I just quoted someone 5.5 for a 15-year.
Do you ever do any sort of balloon loans and,
No, they're illegal.
oh, really?
Yeah, they're not, they're non-QM.
Okay,
So like, that's part of the reason why the housing market crashed in 2008. So all of my loan estimates literally will say no balloon payment feature.
okay,
I do not recommend them. You could get them. They're usually like portfolio. They're not insured at all, so they're tougher to get, and the terms are crazy. But no, I do not do any balloon payments.
See like balloon, a lot more balloon payments, if it's like on financing or something like
Yeah,
Yeah.
Something that's a little bit more, I don't wanna say it's shady or schemy, but like.
they're usually investments
Under
or
the
commercial.
radar.
The wink.
You mentioned QM.
Yeah, I don't remember what it stands for.
Okay. Sorry.
So there's two types of loans. There's QM and non-QM. I do QM. So QM is anything that's like your standard conventional. They're insured by the federal government. There's Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. They're sold on the mortgage market. Non-QM are usually investor loans. Like, and I don't mean like investment properties. I mean investors will put money to a lender and say, here are the parameters of which I'm allowing you to lend my money. You're like, and they usually run out of financing, or they're usually a limited term. And so a non-QM would be, like DSCRs are non-QM, they're just very popular non-QM loans. Balloon payment features would be in a non-QM loan, they're most likely gonna be in a commercial or like a buyer or seller finance loan type of situation. So that's what I mean when I say that.
Qualified mortgage.
Yes, thank you.
You go over with it.
I was gonna say quality mortgage, so
Close.
close.
Hello.
Also, every time you explain an acronym, you use another acronym. that
I
has
know,
to do with
I'm sorry. DSCR is, thank you, Andrew. DSCR is the loan program that is, for an investing property, and so you're not using any income aside from the income that comes from the rent. So if your rent pays for the mortgage, then you're able to do a DSCR loan.
Thank you.
Thank you, because I just throw letters out and I'm like, everyone knows what that means. No, they don't.
Don't worry, we'll ask. We'll ask.
Call me out.
We need clarification.
You guys don't do DSCR, or you do
We do.
DSCR, you just don't do a lot of.
No, they're tough and the interest rates are garbage.
So rough, yeah.
Yeah, they're like almost 9%.
That's still probably better than what you're gonna get from owner financing.
Potentially, yeah. And I only have one or two lenders that offer them on the wholesale market, so I don't know if they're cheaper if you go like directly to a bank. They might be, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't get a lot of people. Whenever I have someone that asks me about it and then I tell them what my interest rate is, they're like, oh, no, thank you. And I'm like, yeah, I don't blame you. 9%'s a
But
lot.
it can be nice if you're, you know, somebody who, like, for you to try and qualify for an investment property. you
Yeah.
can't- It's hard for you to do it the traditional way. And
Yes.
know that you're gonna cash flow some of the properties.
Yes, if I think if it's your only option, it's a solid program.
For sure.
But that's, I think, where I'm like, if it's your only option.
Right.
If there are way better options, but if it's your only option, then it's a great program.
You're good at being graded.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the time to be like, okay, is this really what we wanna do? Maybe let's see if there are other options, like, do you qualify for like any other like bank statement program where we just take bank statements and the lender calculates income via bank statements? Or I have a lender that does like a 1099 where I just upload all your 1099s, then they calculate your income that way. So like, there are a couple other programs that I can try to qualify you for, but ultimately, I'm gonna take the time to look at it and see. And that's, I think, one of the bigger differences between me and a lot of other lenders, and Jeremy also, is that I'm gonna take the time to figure it out for you. If I don't know the answer, I'm gonna find it and let you know.
So not only would it be good for us to have our people talk to you about those kinds of things, but it's also good for us to ask you that kind of stuff ourselves, so that we can speak on it just a little bit more intelligently, and it makes us look at different lens as well.
Exactly. But also don't feel like you need to know everything about mortgages, because
Right.
real estate is, I don't know almost anything about real estate. I like, via osmosis, I get some things, but like, to know both of them is, it's too much information.
Yeah.
So I want to give you the basics so that you sound smart and you're like, you sound like you know what you're talking about, but I can do all the details for you.
Can you give us any insight right now, you know, I mean, especially in the market that we're going into, a shifting market, using your financing as a competitive edge, like some strategies around how can you position yourself to be the pick, right? Based on the financing that you're using.
So I can do most loan programs in 30 days. So like a 30-day close is gonna look a lot better than like a 45 to 60-day loan. With the exception of USDA, I don't have a lot of control over how long it takes the federal government to review programs. So like that one I might need 45, but like VA, FHA, conventional, typically I can close them in 30 days. So that's gonna be helpful.
What's the norm?
Some people think that VA needs 45 days. I don't necessarily think, unless the customer is really difficult to work with, like a typical VA loan, I can close in 30 days without a problem.
Okay.
But some people think government loans need to take longer. And if you think the property is gonna have some appraisal issues, then maybe give yourself some more time for the inspection, like the re-inspection situation. But I think if it's a solid house and don't think there are any issues, 30 days is fine. I have done a couple of loans recently where I've structured it in a way where the buyer didn't have a ton of money. And they wanted some seller assistance, and you bake that into the price of the house. And so when I say that, what I mean is if the list price is 200,000 and the seller wants seller assistance, and they want 3% seller assistance, which is $6,000, just make the offer at 206. Because it's money directly in the buyer's pocket. It's covering $6,000 in closing costs right off the cuff. And the seller is still netting the same amount. I've had that work a few times. Or even higher, like if you're whatever the seller assistance amount is that you need, just increase the purchase price by that amount. That's worked really well, especially I think, because I had mentioned this at the mastermind, because Amy Turnbull had a property that she was worried about selling. I think it was Amy. Was it Amy? Yeah. And I was like, just raise the price and offer seller assistance. Like as a seller, you can do that. If you're having a lot of trouble with traffic, or if you have a house that might have like an issue that you're like, this is a really weird situation. I think the yard was really sloped, and she was like, people come and see the house and they're like, yeah, I don't want to deal with that. Like offering some seller's assistance and raising the price up could be really incentivizing, because it's literally money in the buyer's pocket.
Make sure that it raises.
Yes, obviously you want to make sure, but I mean,
No, I know.
$10,000 isn't, I don't know if that's gonna make or break it.
There's an agent in our office who just had a $245,000 appraisal cut.
Yeah, I think that's insane. That's what I'm calling the AMC meeting.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I'm sorry,
$245.
$245.
$245.00.
That's the
appraisal cut.
dumbest thing
Oh,
I've ever heard.
you were saying.
Wow.
245,000.
No.
No, $245.
And that's asking.
That's the
Uh,
stupidest thing.
Yeah, it's one of the files I just took over and I was trying to figure out what was going on and I'm like, what is this addendum for a $250 change?
Yeah.
Out of this office.
Like what, and so I called, I was like, what's happening here?
Yeah, wow,
And she's like, I was crazy.
okay.
You serious?
That's so dumb. But yeah, as far as financing is concerned, those would be the things that I would suggest. Seeing if we could do a non-contingent offer, so like, could we potentially, like, without needing to do a bridge loan, like, could we potentially make it so that we can make an offer that doesn't contingent upon them selling, because we're doing the minimum down payment and then we're recasting after? Cause I know that some agents are afraid of sale and settlement contingencies on offers, so like, that's also a possibility. I can take a look at that for you guys too.
Adrian, you had asked, what's the advantage? And what I always tell people when I refer to A+ is in like, you know, because you gotta dumb it down sometimes. I'm just like, they are a mortgage broker, and what that means is that they have the ability, like you give your information one time and they can shop around for you. You don't have to call this bank and this bank and this bank and see who can get you the best deal. They will do that for you. Yep. And they can almost always beat everybody else. So that's my sales pitch to get clients to them, especially if you have somebody who's like, I've always used Quicken Loans. I'm gonna use them again. And you're like,
The only thing, I'll get on my soapbox for a minute about online lending, because I have a lot of thoughts and feelings about it. Online lending, one, they're not gonna do what I just did, which is have an actual conversation with Julie. They're not gonna do that. They're gonna have Julie fill out something online. And then they're just like, yep, you're good. And then they're gonna email her a pre-qualification, which is not the same thing as a pre-approval. Pre-qualification does not require a hard credit inquiry, so they can't run any underwriting system to see if the loan actually qualifies. A lot of times I don't even ask about the money that she has, so like, she said she had 15,000, they probably wouldn't have even asked her, or if they did, they would have completely ignored it and said, hey, if you can afford $2,300 a month, then you can afford a, $500,000 house. And then when it gets there, she's like, oh, well, I don't have $35,000 to put as a down payment, because they didn't ask her, they didn't pay attention to that. I've run into that a lot. And it irritates me. Or they'll just say stated income. So like, if you're self-employed and you're like, oh yeah, I make $50,000 a year, and you just plug it into their online form and they're like, yeah, great, that's how much money you make. No further questions are asked, and then they pre-approve that person. And then they're under contract, they're in underwriting. Oh, I'm so sorry, you don't actually make that much money, so we can't qualify you anymore. And then the deal falls apart. And they'll wait until like 3 days before closing to tell you.
and unfortunately, as agents, when you're the person representing that buyer that has to back out of the contract because their lender didn't do their full job, like that sticks to your reputation.
Yeah, so I would
You let that
always,
happen enough times, people remember your name.
yeah, always ask them for a local lender. Obviously, I'm gonna advocate for myself because I think I'm amazing, but any local lender is gonna be better than Quicken Loans or, Better.com or Rocket Mortgage or anything like that.
Every reason that you can think of that you would ever hope to have from a lender: better interest rates, more communication, faster closing time, like that, every single thing is better with it. Every single thing.
So I'm gonna answer the phone.
Yeah.
Right. And whenever you're in the heat of things and you're writing the contract at 9 o'clock at night, Angie might want to stab you if you call her, but at the same time, she'll pick up.
Maybe. Sometimes I go to bed at 9 o'clock. I'm old.
Well, Angie is a borderline senior citizen.
I feel that way sometimes. But yeah.
If there was one thing you want agents to know when referring clients to you, what's that?
I always prefer to be the person, like, I would always prefer you to say, hey, I'm going to have Adrian call me. Here's her phone number. If she doesn't get a hold of you today, please call her tomorrow. Like, I would like their contact information, because as I'm sure we all know, if we wait for them, we might be waiting forever. And so I would much rather you send me like, hey, this person should be calling you, but here's their phone number just in case. Or here's their email just in case. Or like, put me in a group text so that I.
There you go. Ding, ding, ding.
Or like I've had people put me in group emails, that's also fine, like that way, you're directly connecting us and I have their contact information so that they don't ghost us, because I've had that happen a lot. I'm like, hey, Alice should be calling you tomorrow, and I was like, okay, cool, and then like 3 days go by, she hasn't called me, I completely forgot about it because I'm doing 17 different things, which is my problem, obviously, but like, and then you're like, hey, did you ever talk to Alice? No, I don't know, I've never talked to that person. And then you've lost 3 or 4 days because they didn't reach out because I don't have their phone number. So,
Yeah, group text is
or email, I don't care
Yeah.
which, but yeah,
Yeah.
put us in,
connect us.
connect us together.
Connect us.
And please don't call me 9 o'clock. Don't put that on me. I love you. I don't want to, I don't know if I want to talk to you at 9 o'clock at night. And please get your this is, okay, another soapbox. I'm so sorry.
Maybe Rocket Mortgage will call me at 9 o'clock.
They're not. If that happens, I will drop dead.
But they're on the Pacific Coast, so you know.
That's true.
Hey,
I
that's still
also,
6 PM. They're not calling you.
please don't wait until the last minute to get your clients pre-approved.
So talk a little bit about that timeline. What does that look?
Honestly, as soon as you meet with a customer and they are interested in buying and you think that they're serious, immediately send them to me or another lender and ask for a pre-approval. I had talked about this a little bit ago. Actually, it was with Andrew and his mentees. The things about pre-approvals that are so important. One, it tells you guys whether they can actually afford a house to own. Cause like, wouldn't that be great if you just like spent your entire Saturday showing Joe like 6 houses? And then when I call you on Sunday and say, hey, they don't have any money and they don't have a job, then you just wasted an entire Saturday. Immediately get them connected with the lender. I know some agents refuse to show anyone houses unless they're pre-approved. Yeah, because you don't want to waste anyone's time.
Yeah.
So it tells you if they can even buy anything, and then it gives them a budget. I don't know how many, especially first-time home buyers that are younger, they're like, oh, well, I only, I'm looking at this house, it's like $375,000, but their budget is $1,200 a month and they have $15,000 in the bank, and there's no way they're gonna be able to make those numbers work. And so then you're gonna show them a house they fall in love with, and then I have to tell them, yeah, that's not gonna work.
And on the flip side of that, the listing agent gets excited because there's a showing, the sellers get excited because there's a showing, they've cleaned their house and gotten their kids and their pets and everybody out so that you can come see it, and you can't even afford it.
Right. And then on the flip side of that, like, I occasionally will have an agent, and it's my least favorite thing, but I do as best as I can, where they'll call me on a Saturday at like 4 o'clock. And I may or may not be home because it's Saturday at 4 o'clock, and they say, hey, offers are due at 7. Can you pre-approve my client? And I'm like, yeah, I can try. And then it's like the most complicated client I've ever had to talk to on the phone. They have 6 investment properties, they have 4 jobs, and I'm like, what the hell? There's no way I'm gonna get this done in time for like your offer that's due at 7. So like, and that puts so much stress on everyone. It puts stress on me, it puts stress on you, it puts stress on the customer, it puts stress on the listing agent, because they're like, hey, is this offer coming in? You told me you had an offer. And it's just unnecessary and can be easily avoided by having them call me before you even set the appointment up. So like, please, 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 for the sake of all of our sanity,
Amen.
have them call me as soon, like before you, like, some people even don't even do a buyer consultation until they have a pre-approval in front of them.
I was gonna say, best real estate practices
Yeah.
is have them pre-approved with that in your hand before you even sit down for your buyer consult, so you can really focus on what they're looking for in a home that they can afford.
So that's like my number 1 new agent advice, pre-approval as soon as possible.
Let's do a buyer consult on Saturday. Before we meet on Saturday, give Angie a call and have her run a pre-approval for you, so we know where our jump off point is.
Exactly.
Let's do our consult on Saturday. I'm gonna go ahead and put you in a group text with Angie right now, so you can connect with her.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Make the connection.
Yeah, it doesn't, I mean, if it's a relatively straightforward like situation, I can do it in a few hours. Like, it doesn't take me a long time. I just don't wanna feel the pressure on a Saturday at 4 o'clock. Like, if I'm at my sister's birthday party, like, that's not happening. Then what are you gonna do? Like, and it's so stressful. So like, please, for the sake of everyone, for the ease of transaction, as soon as possible.
What didn't we talk about that we should have talked about?
I mean, I didn't go into loan programs, but that's like a whole nother.
That's a whole nother class, yeah, that's a whole nother class. For sure.
I went into that.
Yeah, I went into that with a couple. Which I'm more than welcome to do again if we want to. It's a very basic mortgages 101. So if we have interest, I'm willing to do that again, but.
My thought for this class specifically was when you are talking to a client and, first step, get pre-approved. I want you to talk to Angie. She's the best. She's going to ask you X, Y, and Z. Because preparing somebody always makes that conversation a lot easier.
100%.
Yeah, and I'm always trying to cue you guys up. Like, oh, they'll ask you these questions, like, okay, this is what and I'm gonna tell them this, and so we're all on the same page. So like, it's a team, we're a team, we're working together to try to get this person, like, their dream house, their first house, whatever, a home. And so that's how I see it, is like, you're my partner trying to get this happen.
Any other questions? Give me an aha. What'd you learn?
Want somebody to say recasting.
It's on the tip of my tongue. I'm ready for it. Wait, you need something? I'd love something.
Oh, that if you're self-employed, you need at least two years of tax returns.
There you go.
Forgot that part.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, that's good. Yeah, I think the recasting thing was amazing.
Rather than a bridge loan. I can say, well, I'll
Yeah,
tell you.
that's really good to know.
I'd be interested in the mortgage 101. I can make it to the other one, so if there's some time that you do it again, I would come to that. Yes, we don't have it just for me.
Yeah, Andrew, did you get anything? Any ahas?
From the.
Yeah.
Recasting stuff.
Yeah. Love it.
Also. It's not gonna answer my.
Uh-huh. I don't take it personally. She's not answering any of them.
It's fine, it's a little.
My phone automatically goes on do not disturb at like 9:30, so
As it
like,
should.
no one.
As it
Saying 9 is.
None of you should be working at 9 PM. Mistakes happen at 9 PM.
That's true.
Nobody is fresh, your brains are foggy, you're thinking about tomorrow already, you're half asleep. Nobody should be writing offers at 9 PM.
I will say that my do not disturb was on at 7:30. I checked my phone, but my phone gets shut off just because of my husband's schedule, so I. Made it into him, unless it's something that has to be addressed. then,
Yeah. There are no emergencies in real estate.
It's not, we're not doing.
If your house
we're
catches
not
on
doing
fire,
open
don't
heart
call your
surgery.
realtor, call the fire
That's true.
department.
We are not doing open heart surgery. Okay, I appreciate all of you coming. Listen, we have Justin Ball coming in next. Like, don't go anywhere. If you gotta take a potty break, I understand, but don't go anywhere. Justin Ball is coming to join us next. I'm gonna flip the Zoom room over for the next recording, get my slide up. But can we give Angie and Juli a little round of applause? They put themselves out there and we appreciate them for doing that.
Thank you.
You guys did great. Oh, Dora's giving you some claps on.